Welcome to Daily Book Insight.
So, what are we all about here? Well, it's pretty simple, really. We help overthinkers like you and me find a bit more clarity, focus, and, well, calm. We do that by digging into some powerful ideas from really great nonfiction books.
Okay, let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You've just left a party or a meeting or even just a quick chat with a neighbor, and for the next, I don't know, few hours or maybe even days, your mind just turns into this courtroom. You're replaying every single word, analyzing every little pause, wondering what you should have said. It is absolutely exhausting, right? It turns what should be a simple human connection into this high-stakes performance.
Yeah, this is the hamster wheel, isn't it? This is that cycle we get stuck in. You're constantly trying to figure out the perfect thing to say. You're terrified of what other people are thinking. And then afterward, you just replay it all over and over and over again. It's no wonder that social events can feel so draining. If this is hitting home for you, just know you are definitely not the only one.
So, here's the big question. What if we've been going about this all wrong? Our natural instinct is to try and think our way out of the problem, to analyze more, to plan better. But honestly, that's kind of like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. What if the real problem isn't that you think too much, but that the way you're thinking about social interactions is, well, broken? What if we just need a new lens?
All right, so here's our game plan to get there. We're going to start by looking at the overthinking trap itself. Then we'll introduce this new way of seeing the social game. After that, we'll get into three really practical strategies: choosing your focus, the art of being indirect, and learning to listen for what people aren't saying. And then we'll pull it all together.
Okay, first up, the overthinking trap. See, the whole thing is built on this one big mistake. We think social situations are like a math test. We think there are right and wrong answers and that we're being graded. But that's not how people work, not at all. And that misunderstanding is what fuels all the anxiety. So, to find a way out, we're going to borrow a really powerful idea from Robert Greene's book, The Art of Seduction. Now, hang with me here. I know how that sounds. We are not talking about manipulation. We're just using the book's incredible insights to finally understand the unspoken rules of the game, a game we've all been playing without the instruction manual. For our purposes today, let's just completely redefine that word. When Greene talks about seduction, he's really talking about understanding what's going on beneath the surface. It's the art of seeing past what people say and tuning into their emotions, their insecurities, their hidden wants. For an overthinker, this is a total game changer because it shifts your focus from your own internal chatter to just calmly observing what's actually happening out there. This quote from the book just nails it. The poison he's talking about, it's this new perspective. Once you start looking at the world this way, you stop seeing conversations as traps you might fall into. Instead, you start to see this interesting dance of emotions and unspoken needs. Your own mind becomes less of a critic and more of a curious observer.
Okay, so let's get practical. Here's the first principle. You know what's so exhausting? Trying to please everyone in the room at the same time. It's impossible. So the first step toward calm is to just stop. Stop trying to win over everybody, and instead learn to direct your energy toward people who are actually open to it.
I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day, right? The overthinker walks into a room and sees a wall of judges. They're totally overwhelmed. The clear thinker, on the other hand, walks in and just calmly scans the room, looking for a friendly face, someone who seems open. They focus their energy there, and what happens? They have a real, meaningful connection. Way less stress, way more rewarding.
So, how do you actually spot a receptive person? Well, this is where you stop being a mind reader and start being a detective. You're just looking for clues. Is their body language open? Are they leaning in, making eye contact? Or are they kind of angled away, looking at their phone? Do they ask you questions and actually seem to listen to the answer? These are all little signals that tell you where to invest your precious energy. All right, this next one is huge for overthinkers. We have this desperate need to control the outcome of a conversation, right? We put so much pressure on ourselves to be funny or smart or charming, and that pressure is exactly what creates the anxiety. The solution is to just let go. Adopt a much more gentle, indirect approach. What this really means is that your role completely changes. You're not the star of the show anymore. You're the host of the party.
Your main job isn't to be impressive. It's just to make the other person feel comfortable and safe. You let them feel like they are in the driver's seat. You just gently guide things, you don't push. The pressure just melts away because you're no longer responsible for making the conversation a success. You're just there.
There's this fantastic historical example in the book. The diplomat Zhou Enlai had to negotiate with his captured rival. Now, he didn't go in there making demands. He just listened. He showed respect. He made the other guy feel like the decision to cooperate was his own idea. By letting the other person feel in control, Zhou got exactly what he wanted. That's the power of being indirect. It's disarming because it's not a fight. Okay, this brings us to our third principle. And this might be the most powerful one of all. Overthinkers get obsessed with words. We analyze every single syllable. But that keeps us stuck in our own heads. The real magic, the real connection, happens when you learn to listen for what isn't being said.
This quote from Green is basically telling us, stop reading the transcript of the conversation in your head. You're missing the whole show. Pay attention to the music underneath the words. The tone of voice, a little hesitation, a quick glance away. Those are the things that tell you what someone is really feeling. That's where the real information is.
Now, Green calls this the ideal lover principle, which, okay, sounds a little dramatic, but let's just reframe it as a principle of deep empathy. The idea is to patiently observe someone and try to understand what they feel is missing from their life. Maybe it's adventure, maybe it's stability, maybe they just want to feel truly heard. This isn't about being fake, it's about showing the parts of yourself that connect with their unspoken needs. The book talks about how Casanova was a master at this. He would notice if someone's life was a bit dull, so he'd bring a little adventure. He'd see if someone else felt ungrounded, and he'd offer a sense of calm. Now think about what this does to your own brain. You literally don't have time to be self-conscious anymore. You're too busy, too engaged in the fascinating project of understanding another person. That outward focus is the ultimate cure for anxiety. So let's pull all this together. These aren't just a few random tips. What we've been building here is a whole new mental framework for interacting with people, one that replaces confusion and anxiety with curiosity and calm. This table lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? On the left, you have the old anxious habits, and on the right, you have the new clear framework. So instead of trying to analyze everyone, you focus on the receptive. Instead of trying to force things, you gently guide. And instead of obsessing over words, you listen for what's unspoken. Each one of these is a shift away from anxiety and toward a calm, clear awareness. And that really is the heart of it. The goal isn't to shut your brain off. I mean, your analytical mind is an amazing tool. The solution is to just give it a better, more interesting job to do. Instead of turning it inward to criticize yourself, you turn it outward to observe, to understand, and to truly connect with the people around you. That's how you go from overthinking to clear, calm confidence. If you found this helpful, like the video, subscribe to Daily Book Insight, and share it with your family and friends who want to upgrade their life.